Good morning. Today I will start the new topic, and this new topic is very important. In the new topic you will study about cell. As you know, the cell is a structural and functional unit of life, and cell is responsible for making a structure and doing all the work of the cell. So this cell is, that is why it is called cell is basic unit of life. Cell is structural and functional unit of life. So as far as the definition is concerned, you will write the cell is a structural and functional unit of life. Okay. So when we begin anything, before beginning, the introductory knowledge part is very important. As you completed the two chapter, I mean the number one was crop production and the second was the microorganisms. And in this new chapter, it is very important to explain the plant cell and animal cell. When we want to begin any new topic, there is structure in the cell. There are many cell organelles in the cell, and in the many cell organelles, you will notice their shape size is totally different. Yes, that when you start the structure of the nucleus, you start the structure of the mitochondria, you start the structure of Golgi body, you will see the differences in their morphology, differences in their shape and size. So for that, you have to start with the help of diagram. When you draw the diagram, you should not follow entire the printing material of the textbook. You should draw one by one, that where is the cell is located, what is the outer structure of the cell, what is the name of that membrane. So when you draw any diagram, you have to see stepwise that the outer structure, then inner structure, then individual cell organelles. I mean, when you draw the mitochondria, different shape size. When you draw the spherical structure, nucleus would be at the center. Okay. When you draw the Golgi body, the packaging material, there would be different system, tubules structure. When you draw the endoplasmic reticulum, so my dear student, you have to see the structure, right? When you start because the cell, the first time you are going to study. So before beginning this topic, you have to make your fundamental basics. You have to make your foundation. So basic things, the basal part is very important. When you draw any diagram, how to draw, I will explain, right? Before that one, cell theory. Cell theory, it was given by scientists Leiden and Swan. And cell theory, there are two postulates, thoughts of the scientists regarding the cell theory. And these postulates, the scientists explain that all the cells are arising from old one. All the cells arises from pre-existing cells. So number one, all cell arises from number two, all cells are responsible for making structure and doing functions. all these cells are, all these cells, all these cells are responsible for making structure and doing function. All these cells are here. These are the two postulates of cell theory. As far as the types of cell is concerned, there are two types of cell. One is prokaryotic cell and another one is eukaryotic. The undeveloped cells are called prokaryotic. They are small in the shape size. And there are two words. First is pro. So what is the meaning of pro? Primitive. Primitive means undeveloped. And karyotic means karyon means nucleus. So what is the undeveloped? Which part is undeveloped? Nucleus. And you will notice that nucleus are not surrounded by a membrane. That is why their nucleus are primitive. They called nucleoid. When the nucleus is not surrounded by a well covered membrane, well covered by a covering, that is called prokaryotic nucleus. And when the nucleus are developed, they are called eukaryotic. So what is the meaning of eu? True. True means developed. Karyon means nucleus. So at one part, the nucleus is well developed, and on the other part, the nucleus is undeveloped in the prokaryotic and here. So you will write small, number one difference, small in size, big in size. Number two, nucleus are undeveloped. Uncovered and undeveloped. You can write nucleus are uncovered. Here you can write nucleus number one and then you write two, right? Number one, and then second is nucleus is surrounded by, covered through a membrane. So two differences are clear. Number three, you can write they are well developed. The prokaryotic cell are undeveloped, rather I should say. They are undeveloped. Example, bacteria. Here well developed. Examples, all plants and animals. Developed plants, so bacteria, cyanobacteria, etc. Right? So these are the differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic. The pro means it is clearly indicating the karyon means nucleus, and what type of nucleus? Developed or undeveloped? Primitive. And here the nucleus is well developed. Nucleus is surrounded by a nuclear membrane. Right? I will explain later on. So when you start anything, what is the term? What is this term? What is the definition? What is the cell theory? What is the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell? Right? As I told you that when you start any new topic, you have to understand the related terms. Terms like in this cell you have studied that the nucleus, what is the cell membrane, what is the cell lemma, plasma lemma. So plasma lemma, cell lemma or cell membrane, these three words are same. They are having same meaning, like cell membrane or cell plasma membrane, like cell lemma or plasma lemma. So when we are moving inside the cytoplasm, the liquid which is present, entire liquid which is present outside the nucleus and inside the cell membrane, that is called cytoplasm. Okay, a very simple thing. I could delete this. For the explanation part, I will tell you, like when you start any this is called cell membrane outer structure or plasma membrane, right? Inner spherical structure which is present at the center, especially this is known as nucleus. The fluid which is present between the nuclear membrane and the cell membrane, this entire the fluid is called cytoplasm. Got my point? The fluid, the liquid which is present outside the nucleus and inside the cell membrane is called the cytoplasm. Now moving to the next, the inner structure, the inner fluid which is present inside the nucleus is called nucleoplasm. And these two liquid is collectively called as protoplasm. So these three terms are clear in your mind or not? The cytoplasm, the fluid which is present outside the nucleus, the nucleoplasm which is present, the fluid which is present inside the nucleus, and collectively it is called protoplasm. So got my point? The protoplasm is very much clear in your mind. I am sure that the nucleoplasm, the liquid which is present inside the nucleus, and the cytoplasm which is present outside the nucleus. Clear? In the beginning movement, you have to see which one is known as cytoplasm, which one is known as nucleoplasm, and collectively it is called protoplasm. Right? So when you start, you have to see. Now I am going to draw this structure. Inside nucleus, you will see the thread-like structure which is playing very important, very vital role in the cell. Chromosomes, there are 23 pairs chromosomes, and in the chromosomes you have heard that chromosome contains the 40,000, in one chromosomes there are 40,000 genes, and genes are the segment of DNA. Genes carry the character. Genes cannot be changed. throughout the life, throughout the generation to generation. DNA, you have heard, deoxyribonucleic acid. So in the chromosomes, you are looking here very clearly, these thread-like structure are called chromosome. So these chromosomes contains the genes, and these genes are the carrier of the characters. They carry characters from the parents to their offspring. So when you start the structure, you have to see individual labelings. Like when I am drawing here, the chromosomes, 2 chromosomes I have drawn. When I am going to draw the animal cell, you have to see there are one structure also which is not present in the plant. These are called centriole. I will also explain the comparative study between plant cell and animal cell, differences between plant cell and animal cell. That is another part, but you have to see now. Look at these structure, the network-like structure, the thread network. These are called endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, and here the Golgi complex. Can you see here? Golgi body or Golgi complex or Golgisome, same meaning. These are responsible for packaging and secretion of the material. Endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for protein synthesis, fat synthesis. Each cell organelles, I will explain their function also. But in the first segment, in the first lecture, you have to see the structure, where they are located, where they are present, and what is their shape, size, and what is their function. What is the other name? Sometimes you will see the mitochondria looking like rod-shaped structure. And these mitochondria are known as powerhouse. Why it is called powerhouse? Any guess? Because it generates the energy, and that is why it is known as powerhouse. Mitochondria is producing energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate ATP, and that is why it is known as powerhouse. Some cells like ribosomes. Ribosomes are called engine of the cell. They produces the protein. That is why it is called protein factory. Ribosomes are responsible for protein production. So when you start any new topic, you have to wait, you have to see the shape, size and structure, and then you have to start your study, like the structure, like the functions, like the importance, what is the other name, like the chloroplast, which is not present here. You can't see the chloroplast. Other structure you will see in the plant cell. But there are no chloroplast in the animal cell. Is there any chloroplast? No. The food vacuoles are there. You will see the food vacuole. Food vacuoles are present in the plant, present in the animal, but the chloroplast is absent in the animal. The cell membrane is present in both plant cell and in the animal cell, but no chloroplast is present in the animal cell. As far as the difference number 3 is concerned, the animal cell is rich in case of centriole. The animal cell is full of centriole, but plant cell, they don't have centriole. The food vacuoles are small in shape size in the animal, but in the plant there is larger food vacuoles are present. So when you start the study, you can write the differences between plant cell and animal cell. We'll draw this structure. The differences between plants and any five difference. They are autotrophs. They can produce their food. They perform photosynthesis. They can produce food. That is why they are called autotrophs. Here you can write, they are why they are called heterotrophs? Any guess? Yes, animal cell cannot produce their food, they cannot perform the photosynthesis, and they are not self-dependent, they are dependent on the other, on the plants for the food. That is why they are called heterotrophs, right? They can't perform photosynthesis. Not performing photosynthesis. Okay? Number 3. In the plant cell wall is present. Cell wall is absent. You can write the centriole is absent here. Absent. You can write centriole is present. Number 5. The food vacuoles are smaller in the bigger in the big in size. As far as the animal cell is concerned, the food vacuoles are smaller in size. So there are 5 differences between plant cell and animal cell. Okay? So when we started this topic, the new modules, we had completed this 5 things. Number 1, what is the definition of cell? Number 2, what is the cell theory? Number 3, what was the differences between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell? With example you have to write, because when you will strengthen your answer with the examples, that would be the complete study. And the structure of the animal cell I explained, it was for in the next module I will draw the structure of plant cell and animal cell. There you can easily compare the cell organelles, and in the next lecture I will also cover the structure and the function of different cell organelles. But for today's module it is sufficient, so I am going to write the assignment question after this session, right? Like these are the important differences between plant and animals, the differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. So we start writing. Cell. Number 2, what is cell theory? Write about cell theory. Number 3, write any two main differences between prokaryotic eukaryotic cell. And the fourth one, you have to write mention any 5 differences between a plant cell and animal cell. Any 5 plant cell and you have to make a table, right? As I explained in front of you, the same thing should be completed by you also. And the last one is draw the structure of animal cell. Draw the labeled structure and okay. So at the end, I am sure that you will be doing all these 5 assignment questions in your biology notebook, and you have to practice for the plant cell structure, for the animal cell structure. For the next module, you must come with prepared when you are going to see the next video. In the next video, I will explain about the function of the different cell organelles, and also I will explain the structure of the plant cell and animal cell. And in that structure, you have to complete the individual cell organelles like mitochondria structure, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, chromosomes, and many other structure would be there with their function. In the next module I will be explaining that, and in this module there would be 5 questions. You have to do this. I am sure that you will be doing all these assignment. Okay, dear children, I would be coming with the next module with the next topic. Till then, bye.